Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. Boy, what a beautiful day! I have a light jacket on, and it's Thursday, December 3rd. So, how many videos I've done on Trump? I think over 200. Got into everything about Trump's background, his shady business deals, the fact that he's illiterate. Basically, he reads at a third grade level, has never read a book in his entire adult life. I should say, probably has never read a book ever, really. Monster, evil, all those things. But really, the number one thing is he's a loser. Just think about his record here. Donald Trump lost to Hillary Clinton, the worst candidate in history, by 3 million votes, right? 3 million votes he lost to Hillary in 2016. 2020, he loses to Joe Biden, an old man who's in cognitive decline. You know, I think the popular vote, I think Biden is 81 million. It's almost 7 million votes, right? 6.5 million. And again, Trump loses the popular vote and the electoral vote. The guy is such a loser. One-term president. I've done videos that it is so hard to beat an incumbent. You know, like basically the rule of thumb in recent American history is you get 2 terms. You're elected. You have to really, really screw up to not get a second term. So here he is, loser, big time loser, and it was such a winnable election. It was so almost anyone could have gotten reelected. And by the way, COVID was a gift. COVID was a gift. And I'm going to play a clip here from The Hill with Sagar and Ryan. And look at how Cuomo came out, right? Look at Cuomo's from New York popularity. You see what I mean? Wars and 9/11. Look at how W. Bush's popularity went up. So this is a layup for presidents when stuff like this happens, and he screwed it up. And you know what? Because the guy is a scumbag, is a dirtbag, a loser, and has zero empathy. I'm going to play this, and I'll talk some more.
Pretty interesting interview with Brad Parscale on Fox News that aired yesterday. Parscale, of course, being the disgraced former Trump campaign manager who was fired, rightfully so, for misappropriating a lot of resources, burning hundreds of millions of dollars in cash in places they probably didn't need to be burned, but actually had some insightful analysis around why exactly he think that Trump lost the election. Let's take a listen.
I think that goes to one thing. I think it was a decision on COVID to go for opening the economy versus public empathy. And I think a young family with a young child who were scared to take them back to school wanted to see an empathetic president and an empathetic Republican Party. And I think that, and I said this multiple times, and he chose a different path. And I don't think anything's wrong with this. I love him. But we had a difference on this. I thought we should have public empathy. I think people were scared. I walked around people and watched people walk around me. Not like 2 years ago, and they just don't walk next because I'm Brad Parscale, but walk around me because I got a mask on now. They just don't want to get COVID. I could see how waitresses stand a little farther from the table. People were scared, and I think if he would have been publicly empathetic, he would have won by a landslide there.
Let me just pause this for a second.
He could have leaned into it,
totally.
Run away from it.
He should have won by a landslide. All right, so I've done many videos, even back here, where I predicted that Trump would lose. This is even before COVID. All right, so a loser with zero empathy. Let me continue on.
I think he's right, Ryan. I largely do. Look, and I said this at the time after the election results. COVID did not end up mattering as much as I thought that it would. Look, 70-something million people still voted for Trump, despite all of this. A lot of people still ranked the economy higher than COVID, but there's still a lot of people who cared a lot about COVID. Joe Biden won 81 million votes in this election. And, Trump's margin of victory across Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and all that is only like 70-something thousand votes. If you go and you look at some of these tight things, things swing in a different direction than even in an even tighter way than it was in 2016. and he wins. You know, he completely wins the election. I think this is what did him in. I really do. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the only thing. I think, for example, I think if he'd done a round of stimulus checks and still kept his current posture, he still would have won the election. But Parscale is right. I mean, in that kind of like what could have been, it was such an easy election.
Exactly. You know, if he had, as bad as he was, if he had some empathy, another round of stimulus checks, and just his attitude, when Trump got COVID, what were his comments? Like, after how many millions of people had died, he goes, I finally, I kind of know what this is. You see what I mean? He's just, I understand COVID. He's just this selfish, awful man, and always has been, right? So, and yet people still voted for him. His base, they're just so damn gullible. Hey, I like a loser with no empathy. All right. There you go. Better times coming. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience, peace, love, and understanding here in Tabor Talk.